Hey guys, this is Comic and today I'm doing a review for Harley Quinn. And this episode I think was probably one of the best of the season, a season that I'm really enjoying because we get to see, I'm surprised to say this, we get to see the return of Dr. Psycho, who's not one of my favorite characters, but the way they utilize his character here was really well done. Where we get to see Harley get into the mind frame of Batman, literally, or Bruce Wayne, and they don't know he's Batman. And we get to see this really interesting psychological story of Bruce being obsessed with the idea that his parents die. And you're like, all right, I've seen this story before. But then the plot actually ties into that. So we get to see Harley and Bruce kind of have this friendship, and Harley, Harley knows now that Bruce is Batman and figures this out in a really, really interesting way. But then in the end, we find out exactly why Bruce has stolen Frank, and it has to do with the zombie story of Bruce Wayne trying to revive his parents, which again has been played as jokes of the cats being Thomas and Martha Wayne. You're just like, okay, it's the joke of Batman being obsessed too much of his parents' death, and then it's like, all right, it's not going to go anywhere. But then it becomes the overall villain plot of this season, which I think was what I appreciated the most of this is that because Harley is this anti-hero and plays on the villain side for the most part in this show, who is the antagonist of the season. And because it's been so mostly as an anthology, it's been the opposite of serialized. We get to see episodes that fit into a bigger picture but are very contained. Because of that, we didn't really know what the overall arc was going to be. So to see Batman kind of play the villain side of this story, I thought was so brilliant. Because even though he is a hero, and Harley does, make mention of like, oh, I kind of get who Batman is now. She even ends up being his Robin in this episode. But then in the end, he does a villainous thing, like all, a lot of Batman villains do. Like once you look at their perspective, you're like, you get why they're doing it. It's like, oh, they want to help their, if you look at Frost, right? He wanted to do it because he wanted to save his wife, right? That was always the perspective. So what makes Batman different in this regard? He's doing something that might harm people and is harming Frank for the, try to do something good, which is to bring his parents back. So I just think it just culminated the season so well. Stuff that I thought were just going to be jokes end up being the whole arc of the story, and makes everyone's moral compass very very gray. It's not very black and white, which I love for a Harley Quinn show where she is not a very black and white villain or hero. But let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. This is Comic Uno, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.